Previously on Dungeon Odyssey, our hero shattered the Abyssal Gate, survived the impossible trials, the system turned hostile, and a colossal enemy rose from the depths. And now, the story continues.
The labyrinth's heart rejected its master, sealing its deadly power forever. Yun Hui scoffs at the mutters, calling the broken pieces trash. She orders the crew forward, fearing the unknown will strike again. She points out the owner chamber lies straight ahead, free of traps, and that nothing there could hold a core. She notes the maze must have slipped below rank 3 when the core formed, and wonders if Li Si survived. The team rushes forward, each footfall echoing the looming danger of an empty throne.
Enough with the chatter, let's hurry.
And that's not even the worst part. Li Si bursts into the room, eyes wide, shouting that she's on her way and they must ready for battle. The Guardian nods, his shadow stretching across the floor, forming a protective barrier. The stone beneath them glows faintly, displaying a single Chinese character, 10, as if marking the next wave of danger. The team braces, weapons drawn, hearts pounding, aware that each step now could trigger a cascade of traps. Their coordination tightens, each member matching the rhythm of the looming onslaught.
Li coming. Prepare for battle. 10.
He has no idea what's waiting. Titan lunges toward the pulsing heart of the ownerless labyrinth, his blade carving arcs of light as the party scrambles behind him.
Arya watches the Baron's gaunt silhouette stagger through the shattered debris, his armor clanking, eyes scanning for any sign of hope. She watches the party sprint toward the vacant chamber, the pulse of the dormant core flickering like a dying star, urging them onward.
Jinwoo forces the pulsing core into the extraction portal as a hulking beast erupts, claws scraping stone, while the parasite collapses into dormancy, leaving the labyrinth's heart exposed. Li Si watches the chief's blood-stained armor, feeling the oath to protect the labyrinth bite his conscience, as Jinwoo bears the fallen comrade's promise, trembling between hope and dread. The hulking beast roars, its massive form blocking the exit, while the dormant core flickers weakly, and the squad's desperate calls for the chief echo into darkness, leaving their fate uncertain. If you actually care about the world building, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. The Flood Dragon King lies shattered. 9th floor walls shudder. Jinwoo, now a knight, steps into the echoing chamber. His eyes lock onto the chief. "Do you want to descend?" he asks. The chief's stare never wavers. Jinwoo pushes. "I'll join you as a knight." He probes. "Are you really fleeing the Scarlet Lion? Or hiding something?" The chief stays silent. Jinwoo admits, "I've only spoken to you twice. I can't judge your worth yet." Tension crackles. A fragile alliance flickers, but trust remains untested. And that's not even the worst part. The chief leans forward, voice low. A human bearing the aristocrat seal, first on the 9th floor. "What do I gain from this?" he asks, greed sharpening his tone. The clerk smirks. "You'll get a transfer straight into your account. We're taking your customers, so this helps both of us." A metallic click confirms the promise. The clerk hands over a sleek device to ping the incoming funds. He warns, "Keep your phone on, or you'll miss the next call." The knight feels the surge of cash, a lifeline he never expected. He flicks his wrist, whispers, "Join the Hari squad with a sub before the system crashes," and pockets the device. He has no idea what's waiting. The synchronization pulse glows, linking his maze with Yoon Hui's newly forged labyrinth. The synchronization pulse ignites, fusing Brian's maze with Yoon Hui's freshly forged labyrinth. The knight brandishes a rare Regency aura, forcing the trembling worker into submission. The Noyono's contract seals with a flash of aristocratic power, echoing through stone. Yoon Hui feels the crushing weight of authority, trading freedom for power. Brian's greed spikes, promising instant wealth but risking his soul to a clandestine state project. An ominous alarm counts down on the stone panel. The unresolved Noyono's rule threatens to crown the opponent a new aristocrat. The party's survival now hangs on a ticking second.
This is the premium Manhwa experience. Accept no substitutes. Subscribe to Manhwa with Hari.
The 7th floor erupts, and only the Regent's crown could seal the chaos. Jinwoo stands beside the trembling owner of the Abyssal Labyrinth, the crown slipping onto his head as the ceremony ends. The crown grants him the right to summon forces from both the Naga and Festival Labyrinths. Holding the Naga's 2 knights, he feels the weight of a new aristocratic title settle on his shoulders. Anatoly watches, his eyes narrowed, and mutters that the old regent only used the title for selfish gain. Jinwoo's mind sharpens. He must prove he can wield this power without becoming a tyrant. I accept the Regency.
The Necromancer King rises from the shadows, his cloak rustling like dead leaves. He orders the battlefield to freeze, demanding every soldier relax their bodies to absorb the incoming curse. He whispers a formula, the required energy amount E2H etched in the air. A subordinate snaps a second later, chanting the same number, and the spell ignites in an instant. The rapid activation shocks the enemy, but the cost is a sudden drain of the king's own life force, leaving his eyes dimmer. The arena trembles as the dark power spreads.
Relax your body. This is in order. Required amount E2H.
He has no idea what's waiting.
Luna darts across the flooded arena, her boots splashing neon water as Jinwoo shouts orders. He upgrades the Naga Labyrinth and Festival Labyrinth to rank, unlocking mixed force summons and the Sweet Dreams skill. The crew argues wildly. Ambush the Necromancer King now, one yells, while another suggests a week's warning.
Mira slices a glowing rune, channeling Jinwoo's newly minted authority into the Maunus core. Jinwoo grins, feeling the Flood Dragon's subcore pulse, and commands the Naga Labyrinth to sprout twin serpents while the Festival Lab. Jinwoo slams the freshly minted aristocratic seal onto the Maunus core, triggering the Naga Labyrinth to sprout twin serpents as the Festival Labyrinth ascends to a new rank, unleashing mixed force summons and the Sweet Dreams skill. Jinwoo feels the Flood Dragon's subcore pulse surge through him, granting
new skills, new stats, new dominance. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
Panic crackles as whispers race about the impossible. Dominique snatches the map, demanding why the Count appears now. Angela snaps. No aristocrat from the 11th floor can breach the 9th. Their thoughts sprint, answers needed before the enemy moves. Fear of a hidden monster clouds logic. Dread of a fallen comrade fuels the rush. Shouts collide, each word a desperate plea for sanity. Then the cold truth hits. Stealth failed. A corpse may already lie nearby.
Why would he?
No way an aristocrat reaches us.
The answer hovers just out of reach. Dominique demands a report. Did anyone slip past the Count's grip? Angela pants. He barely brushed us, as if mercy lingered. Dominique studies the towering figure, noting that even an adult hell spider would be minuscule beside him. She mutters, "He's as tall as our castle walls, maybe taller." The commanders wonder if the Count can even see the forces hidden behind the fortifications. Angela steps forward, refusing cowardice, and vows to show no hostility while scouting any opening the Count offers. Dominique watches, calculating whether his presence is a threat or a chance to claim the Naga Labyrinth for themselves.
We can't hide from him.
I won't be a coward.
He has no idea what's waiting. The Count's aristocratic aura flares, the air thickening as gravity spikes 12-fold, crushing the ground beneath their boots. Arya darts through the flickering corridor, her lantern sputtering against the oppressive darkness. She yells for Kim Jinwoo, who clutches the rune-etched compass, while a pulse of eerie blue light erupts from a dormant trap. Jinwoo swings the crystal blade, shattering the barrier and exposing a horde of crawling fear suppressors. Dominique snarls, ordering the commanders to rally, and the 9th floor barons rally their forces, ready to meet the unexpected aristocrat. Jinwoo drives his hammer into the 9th floor stone, igniting a scarlet rune that erupts, sealing the reality breach as Count Anatolius lunges, demanding the Baron's obedience. Dominique feels her resolve shatter, watching the Count's aristocratic cruelty crush allies, while Jinwoo risks his life to protect the fragile map and the Baron's chance at survival. A pulse of raw energy surges through the shattered portal, hinting at a lingering threat that could ignite the labyrinth once more.
He didn't just beat him, he humbled him. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari for the aftermath. In the Black Merchant Hall, Baron slams his fists on the table. He demands proof of neutrality, insisting his guild is a tiny trade crew merely trying to survive. He gestures at a corpse they sold, claiming it was just business. Merchants trade anything, he repeats. A snarling voice rejects the excuse, pressing for the true motive. The accusation hangs heavy in the stale air, tension crackling.
Dungeon Kasi. I shall begin the final briefing on the upcoming war. Against the dead necromancer King Va Lycus. Our troops, 400 soldiers, 200 warriors, 100 archers, 80 champions. Also, 40 healers, 30 mages, 30 scouts, 20 shamans.
Va Lycus abandons his stronghold, marching toward the Labyrinth of Gluttony, while scouts report a massive undead exodus. 2 enemy divisions stand half a day's march apart. The Flood Dragon King's Chimera leads the first, the Necromancer King commands the second. Strategists speculate that the Dragon Chimera may force the king to break his defenses and strike aggressively, a move the imp warned could be disastrous. They resolve to seize the offensive, careful not to repeat the Flood Dragon's fatal trap. The War Council finalizes its numbers. Troops ready for battle, split into 3 divisions. The first, led by Uther, will spearhead the assault. The second and third cover the flanks. Va Lycus abandons his citadel, leading his forces straight into the Labyrinth of Gluttony. From the darkness erupts a colossal, rotting undead beast, its massive form dwarfing the assembled divisions. The creature's guttural roar shakes the cavern walls, heralding a new nightmare for both sides. Rick Shasha feels his clenched fists ignite with vengeance, while Uther still grips the trembling child's arm. Both men stare into a darkness that threatens to crush their hopes and shatter their resolve, each heartbeat echoing the looming battle. The rotting titan looms over the War Council's fragile strategy, casting a shadow that makes every banner tremble. One misstep could seal the kingdom's salvation or unleash an unending abyss, and the commanders feel the weight of the world on their shoulders. Vengeance is a dish best served in the next chapter. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. He'd gone from moss-cloaked prey to a relentless storm. The thermic ray vanished. The stranger steps forward, grin wide, voice dripping with false cheer. "Hey, it's been a while!" The words echo, followed by a sudden comment on a fresh haircut. Jin's eyes narrow, the casual banter slicing through his focus. He feels the sting of being mocked, but his resolve hardens. He forces a calm breath, ignoring the provocation, readying his own hidden edge. The opponent's teasing masks a deeper challenge, and Jin knows the real fight still looms.
You've gotten a lot prettier since I last saw you. New haircut?
And that's not even the worst part. The hero clenches his fists, feeling his recovery skill flicker uselessly. So my ultimate recovery ability is basically useless right now. He admits, frustration knotting his jaw. How's Dominique's situation looking? Wait a moment. A teammate shouts, eyes scanning the horizon. Their scouts report the barren wasteland ahead, estimating 2 hours before the enemy labyrinth appears. They've just entered the barren wasteland. 2 hours to enemy labyrinth. The scout reports, breath ragged. They're fast. I expected flood dragons used by cavalry to be slower. Another voice comments, noting the enemy's unexpected speed. The team readies for a sudden strike, knowing any delay could let the undead mass crush them. He wonders how long they can hold the line. The chapter ends at a breaking point for Dungeon Odyssey. Every answer opened 3 new questions. The final moment leaves everything and everyone on the edge. The only Manwa channel you need. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. The torch sputters, casting dancing shadows on centuries-old stone as the party forces deeper into the tunnel. The guide flips the cracked map, eyes wide, the edge of the labyrinth of the dead finally in sight. A shiver runs through his companion. He mutters that the air tastes wrong, as if a mage's illusion has warped the corridor. Suddenly, towering arches loom, and a faint glow mirrors the legend's promise. Their hearts hammer, hungry for treasure yet wary of hidden traps. A deep rumble vibrates beneath their boots, a silent warning of unseen motion. Hands clamp tighter on weapons. Retreat is not an option.
There are many of us, Angela. Yes, Master.
The master steps forward, voice slicing through restless moans. He proclaims he has summoned the Necromancer King himself, treating a dead soul as a simple target. Even if cursed fragments belong to him, He insists the only path to ending the menace is to annihilate every undead bearing a piece of the king's essence. The party listens, each member weighing the terrible cost of a slaughter that could erase countless lives. Their resolve hardens. They steel themselves to become the blades that finally sever the king's scattered heart. But the real problem is already in motion.
Angela, I'll leave that monster behind.
The crew scrambles, fearing the monster's true scale. Angela whispers to the master, her breath shallow. Something's off. The master, hardened by endless battles, refuses to waste time on what he calls trivial concerns, insisting the creature isn't a siege class at all. His dismissal blocks the party from investigating the monster's true nature, leaving them blind to its hidden mechanisms. Still, the master's cold logic forces the group to press forward, trusting only their blades. The price is a growing mistrust among the members, each step echoing with unanswered questions. What comes next changes everything.
Angela? Master, something's off.
Tension crackles as the labyrinth shifts beneath them.
The ancient gears grind, shattering the cavern's ceiling as a hulking silhouette erupts, dwarfing Anaxtas's flood dragon and swallowing the battlefield in darkness. The sheer enormity of the beast sends a wave of dread through every heart, and the very air seems to crack under its weight. Shadows crawl across the stone, promising an even darker nightmare ahead. Jinwoo's confidence crumbles, his blade trembling against legends he cannot match, while Angela's whispered warning fuels the master's fury, igniting a desperate resolve to survive. The clash of wills sparks a final, ferocious surge, as each fighter steels themselves for the looming cataclysm. Everyone loves a comeback. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari to watch him rise. The undead army collapses, but death whispers, "My reign just began." The necromancer narrator declares necromancy only works on already dead bodies. He imposes a strict cap on how many corpses can rise at once. Any corpse that breaches the limit instantly sheds its flesh, becoming a hollow skeleton. Exceeding the cap triggers a violent backlash that slays the caster. This rule throttles undead power and forces necromancers to choose targets with ruthless precision. The battlefield shudders as the skeletal ranks begin to crumble. The next panel shows the skeletal forces starting to fall apart. The necromancer points out each undead soldier clings to a thin thread of mana. Fresh corpses still rot, turning to bone within days. The necromancer king sighs, "I reveal my weakness. Call me a gentleman." A nearby soldier snarls, "That's not gentlemanly, it's sheer stupidity." Their clash exposes the king's pride versus the burden of truth, and his allies' scorn sharpens internal tension.
To reveal my weak point, am I not a gentleman?
That's not gentlemanly. It's downright stupid.
The next panel flashes the hidden labyrinth core, its dark pulse throbbing ominously. The camera dives into the labyrinth's heart, unveiling a glowing core pulsing with dark energy. Its radiance fuels the Necromancer King's chimera and fuels the undead surge. This confirms the labyrinth is a living weapon, not a silent arena. A towering chimera of corpses erupts from the shattered floor, its grotesque form dwarfing the battlefield. The Necromancer King's blade merely grazes its cursed hide, sending a spray of dark ichor across the arena. Yunhui watches her comrades crumble, her heart shattering as the undead wave annihilates the left flank. The wounded scout clings to life, a stark reminder of loss, forcing Yunhui to face her own fear of failure. The pulsing dark core throbs beneath the chimera, and Jinwoo's blood-charged summons fresh allies. Yet the monstrous fusion stands unscathed, leaving the heroes teetering on the brink of annihilation. Giving you the best manhwa content is my job. Hitting that subscribe button is yours. Welcome to Manwa with Hari. The Necromancer King erupts from darkness, a black storm of aura crackling. He raises his staff and a tide of rotting corpses surge forward, their cursed blades scraping the stone. The party darts for cover, leaping over jagged rock. Jinwoo grips his guide staff like a barrier, pushing comrades aside. The crush of undead drives them into a narrow stone corridor, every step a choke point. Only by shattering the king's opening spell can they breathe. The following panels capture the heroes scrambling to regroup. The archer lunges ahead,
eyes narrowed, bellowing a sharp command. She knocks an arrow, pulls the string, and releases a whistling bolt that splinters a zombie's skull, carving a momentary gap. A sword erupts in a brilliant aura, startling everyone. "Sword aura magic?" someone shouts. The swordsman snarls, "Damn it!" and a teammate mutters, "No way." As the light pulses, the unexpected glow hints at dormant power within the party. This newfound magic could tip the balance against the Chimera swarm. Join the Hari squad with a sub before the system crashes. The mage now eyes the undead's strange spell. The necromancer's skeletal minions begin chanting a spirit chant, a technique elves thought exclusive to them. Undead using spirit magic? It shouldn't work, a fighter exclaims, followed by, "Why aren't they self-destructing?" The revelation shocks the team. Yunhu channels the Sweet Dreams spell toward the scout. He spreads the dream energy across the labyrinth's walls, aiming to break the brainwashing fog. The dream mist engulfs the captive elves, stirring faint memories. Their eyes flicker, hinting at regained awareness. If the spell succeeds, the elves can break free and turn the tide against the Necromancer King. The battle hangs on whether the Sweet Dreams can outrun the darkness. The Necromancer King watches, ready to counter the dream assault.
The chapter erupts at a breaking point, the fate of Dungeon Odyssey hanging by a thread. Every answer birthed 3 fresh questions, the mystery deepening with each revelation. The final moment teeters on a razor's edge, leaving everything and every soul suspended in uncertainty.
The alliance just broke. It's every man for himself. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
Her blood spills, the kingdom's shield shatters. The prince stands on the brink of death. The prince storms into the hallway, yelling at someone for sneaking out. The strongest knight steps forward, raising his hand to calm the prince. He promises to protect the prince forever, calling himself the prince's shield. The prince glares, still angry, but the knight's vow steadies him for now. "You can't keep sneaking out like this. I am protected by the strongest knight. I will be your shield." The knight's confidence masks a hidden fear of the looming threat. A trembling girl steps forward, whispering, "Your Highness."
The knight ponders why the mercenary squad is unusually strong, suspecting elite training. He guesses a palace mage might be backing them, making them virtually unbeatable. He orders Yunhui to stay hidden, telling her doing nothing is the safest move against the Necromancer King. Then he instructs her to deliver a sealed package across the labyrinth and hurry to the 5th level. Yunui's sprint will test the labyrinth's remaining defenses. "I knew they're too strong for mere mercenaries. Then a palace mage must be behind them. Do nothing. Hide from the Necromancer King. Leave the delivery, then rush to 5th level." Yunhui bursts from the shadows, shouting a triumphant "woo" as she darts toward the 5th level.
Yunhui bursts from the shadows, sprinting toward the 5th level portal as the glowing rift flickers, while the elite mercenary squad, secretly powered by a palace mage, unleashes an unstoppable onslaught. The knight, calling himself a cursed dungeon Kasi, watches his oath crumble, fearing the decay of the prince's shield and the loss of the elves' only hope as darkness closes in. Cigar steps forward, snarling at the malicious entity, while the portal's light wanes and the festival's excitement meter stalls, leaving Yunui's desperate race against time and a looming, unseen betrayal.
There's a twist coming that nobody sees coming. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari, you'll want to be ready. The elf knight's spirit splinters, and the cursed labyrinth seals his fate. His thoughts flicker as the mind-binding brainwash shatters. A snarling echo whispers, "Malicious!" He staggers, feeling his will ripped away. The walls of the dungeon quake, feeding raw arcane force into his exposed core. Freedom ignites his true resolve, yet the abyss presses hungry.
Malicious.
The spirit speaker now demands the cause of his sudden awakening. The spirit speaker advances, doubt flickering across her eyes. "I don't know why you rose, but your past claws at you," she snarls, branding him weak. She scoffs, demanding he abandon every memory. An unseen force lunges, screaming, "Target resists entity manipulation." A flash of ink splashes a stark black sigil, then the lone kanji Xing. The cavern falls mute, the maze seemingly holding its breath. The glyph whispers a concealed truth, identity forged through sacrifice. The pause forces the elf knight's turmoil to surge to the surface. The following beat erupts with his frantic screams. The elf knight erupts, his mind splintering under the pressure. "No!" he screams. Then no linear why? He hurls accusations at the spirit speaker. "You promised protection. Why betray me twice before my eyes?" Linear. Panic claws at him, terror of becoming an eternal cursed puppet. The spirit speaker remains cold, urging acceptance of spiritification. The labyrinth's energy wanes, each heartbeat a ticking clock. The elf knight collapses on one knee, his armor splintering as spirit energy seeps outward. Spectral chains dissolve, exposing his frail form. From the gloom, undead beasts erupt, talons raking at the heroes. The festival excitement gauge plunges to zero, darkness swallowing the labyrinth. Haryong brandishes his rune blade, eyes ablaze, readying a desperate thrust. His fragmented soul radiates, hinting at a latent surge. The group races against time, needing to seal the dungeon before the undead overwhelm. Haryong's blade erupts in a blinding flare, heralding a sudden power surge. The chapter erupts at a breaking point, the fate of Dungeon Odyssey hanging by a thread. Every answer birthed 3 fresh questions spiraling deeper. The final heartbeat leaves everything, and every soul, teetering on the brink. There's no brakes on this hype train. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. The chapter bursts open in a cavernous underground lab, runes flickering like dying stars. Glyphs pulse across stone walls while a distant festival roars above. Kim Jinwoo darts through the maze, his eyes locked on the humming stone door that throbs with raw power. The massive slab shutters, ready to explode. Jinwoo grips his resolve. "We can't let this energy spill." The door cracks, splintering the darkness and pulling us forward. Jinwoo lunges through the doorway and spots a flash of movement, a child darting deeper. He blinks, convinced the light is playing tricks. The youngster steps into the glow, hair tied back, eyes blazing with curiosity. The master gasps, recognizing the legend, Yoon Hui, the famed dungeon baby. Rick Shasha charges ahead, disregarding the chaos. A teammate yells, "Move, it's too risky." Rick's brother begs, "Leave before another death repeats." Rick snarls, blaming his own weakness for the suffering. The ground cracks, forcing the group to sprint toward an exit. Guilt fuels his desperate rush. Rick whispers a dark wish, longing he'd never been born. He envisions his death erasing the current catastrophe. The thought spirals into a curse. "Damn it, Rick!" echoing in the ruins. The lingering sound hints at hidden betrayal. A concealed enemy watches, poised to strike. A wounded soldier steps forward, reassuring his sibling that they're not at fault. The brother freezes, eyes widening. The mage declares he will force the princess's awakening, regardless of odds. He engages the protocol, displaying a success ratio and counterbalance reading. The magical field spikes, confirming the awakening ignites. "I'll force her awakening." As the princess's power erupts, Rick braces for his next strike, the ground trembling beneath them. The dormant protocol flares, system lights flashing. Rick's Asher Plus attempt erupts in catastrophic failure. Suddenly, CRI Shasha's Hero Plus ignites, flooding the battlefield with blinding, volatile energy. Sasha vows fierce guardianship over the royal child, as Rick's crushing guilt fuels her resolve. The story doesn't stop here. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari so you never fall behind. An undead breaks free, sparking the Naga's fury that threatens every living heartbeat. The labyrinth owner flashes back to the time He commanded a mere handful of skeletal minions before seizing this cursed maze. He confesses his habit of fleeing when danger looms, hoping for a second strike. A cold shiver tells him a hidden menace lurks nearby. He barks orders. All undead carrying his soul fragments must hold their ground, lest the cursed power spill outward. The Naga's jagged cliff rises, while the undead horde surges forward. Move! Every path, every trick, any chance to escape, even if a single soul survives. The labyrinth owner shouts his troops. Break out before the Naga clamps down. The owner spots a narrow tunnel slicing through the labyrinth's back wall. If I breach it, I might reach the barren wasteland. He muses, eyeing a fresh escape. The others stare, bewildered by the sudden suggestion. The tunnel could bypass the collapsing chambers and buy precious time for the High Elf Queen's revival. It becomes their only plausible route out of the chaos. He readies a test of the tunnel's stability. A Naga bellows, "Help, Master! Crush the enemy!" as undead flood the corridor. The owner shouts, "Uther, Quietus, Dominique, perfect timing." 3 veteran warriors sprint in, blades cleaving the horde. Their arrival halts the main undead tide, gifting the team precious seconds. A cloaked figure bows to the revived queen, hailing her as the High Elf monarch. He proclaims Rikshasha the Golden Age emblem of absolute perfection. Another voice gasps that Rikshasha were terribly late. The exchange reveals the ritual's timing is off, endangering the queen's full revival. The owner still clings to his pact, hoping the path will alter fate. The necromancer proclaims his soul is united, sparing no strength. He finalizes a pact with the Black Merchant Group, who promises a safe passage. He tells the others to choose their own actions and thanks them. The deal grants the owner a chance to steer the maze's collapse. Now he must decide: use the new path or seal the labyrinth forever.
The labyrinth owner summons a grotesque chimera, its twisted limbs tearing through the battlefield, while the necromancer seals a pact with the Black Merchant Group, promising a safe passage that could free the trapped High Elf Queen Rikshasha. The owner faces his own mortality, his decayed heart betraying the undead facade, while the necromancer risks everything to resurrect Rikshasha.
Your time is valuable. I won't waste it. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. The necromancer awakens, and the formless labyrinth shatters, ripping reality apart. He cries to the wandering dead flock, begging for a path out. Punish me, he begs, promising salvation. He vows to resurrect the endless sheep, offering himself as their conduit, declaring himself both parent and god of the dead herd. His voice fuels a cold ambition. He lunges into the broken maze, testing the raw surge of his newfound power. The sheep are the seed of my existence, the afterword of reality. He roars, stepping into the dead sheep purgatory. Necromantic veins flare, dark energy crackling around him. The labyrinth's walls ripple like liquid bone, threatening collapse. His companions stare, mouths open in disbelief.
A blonde specter materializes, blade gleaming, snarling, "Step aside or I'll cleave you in half." The necromancer replies coolly, "I have no intention of dying today." A system readout flashes. Hardening mode, maximum capacity. Damage immunity engaged. The arena hums as his defenses flare, sealing his flesh in an ethereal armor. The master watches, eyebrows raised, questioning whether this invulnerability can truly hold.
Spirit Blonde. I'll cut you in half. Stop blocking me.
Of course not.
Hardening at maximum capacity. No damage possible. Join the Hari squad with a sub before the system crashes.
The battle teeters on a razor's edge. A distant whisper drifts, Anaxtis. As the extraction completes, a blonde spirit materializes, blade raised, demanding the necromancer step aside. But the necromancer erupts from the swirling void, brandishing his own resolve and exposing his true dead-from-the-start nature. The necromancer seizes control, gaining freedom from the labyrinth's grip, yet forfeiting any hope of redemption, leaving his master to watch his twisted survival with bitter triumph. A black-cloaked merchant troop slips through the shadows, their silent presence a promise of hidden resources that could shift the war's balance.
Hit subscribe on Manwa with Hari. You've already spent time here. Make it count. The Necromancer King fled, and the 9th floor labyrinth looms over the kingdom like a dark storm. Black merchant spies slipped Naga secrets, then bargained for intel on the king's army. Jinwoo sacrificed the living Vialicious and the core of the labyrinth of the dead. Rick Shasha, bound by duty, held back her thirst for vengeance while Jinwoo kept his promise. The loot, rotten Naga flesh, shattered bone fragments, and 0 gems. The clash cleared the nearby ruins but left the treasury empty. Jinwoo now questions whether letting the king escape was a gamble worth the cost. Jinwoo confronts his comrades, asking if it was right to hand the Necromancer King to the merchants. Jinwoo urges the master to rise, then asks Rick how the surrounding area looks. Rick reports the clearing is complete. Jinwoo orders them to prioritize recuperation and defense while broadcasting the labyrinth of the dead's collapse to other owners, preventing future contempt. This move secures political goodwill and readies defenses for looming threats. Thank you, Master. Are you listening? Get up. Rick is fine. Looks like clearing the area is over. Focus on recuperation and stabilization. We won't neglect defense. Make sure other labyrinths know what happened to the dead labyrinth. No one will look down on us. The other labyrinth lords watch, waiting for the next move. A council member steps forward, praising Jinwoo for sealing the black merchant deal. The compliment lifts morale as the labyrinth of the dead collapses behind them. It signals that the owners are beginning to cooperate, shifting the power balance on the 9th floor. The praise also hints at hidden agendas among the lords.
Congratulations on it, boss. POS completing. Always cheering you, OU.
The discussion now turns to the lingering Gyser curse.
Black merchant corners Jinwoo, forces him to reveal his inner turmoil, and displays damning intel about the Naga alliance, while the dead labyrinth collapses behind them. Jinwoo risks losing his humanity and the trust of the other owners as his suppressed fairy nature resurfaces, while allies feel both hope and dread from the looming Naga betrayal. With the Naga-aligned lords poised to strike and the council fractured, the 9th floor teeters on the edge of a war that could shatter every labyrinth's fragile alliance.
This is the golden standard. Hit subscribe on Manwa with Hari.